And folks, we are on our way to a much warmer forecast, but I want to go back to a bigger story that's been lurking in the background. We're just moving along very quickly toward a new El Nino that's going to show up probably within the next couple months or so. And this is where we look. We tend to look off the coast of South America for the warm water to surface, and then it gets blown over in the middle of the Pacific with the trade winds. And once it hits this zone, and if it's warm enough for long enough, you have El Nino. Now, what's happening underneath the surface really gives us more confidence about where we're going. All these X's going down are actual buoys, data and temperature probes, essentially, so you can tell what's going on underneath the surface. And there's that warm pocket of water off South America. What else we know is that warmer water is on the way underneath the surface, so it travels across the Pacific. It surfaces near South America, it hits the surface, and then gets blown back in the middle. So that's how that cycle works. It all adds up to this. The computer models are spitting out a very confident forecast, and what came out today, just a little while ago, was this. There's a more than 90% chance that we are going to have El Nino, either moderate or strong, going into the winter and persisting. Well, what does that mean? Well, typically, not every time. That's why I said this is not 100% going to happen. But the odds favor something like this emerging this upcoming winter. Wetter than normal for Southern California, drier than normal for the Pacific Northwest and Canada. Could it be an inch more than normal or 10 inches? That's hard to say, but at least moving in that direction. And then when you really crunch this all out, this is a computer model that looks at climate forecasts going forward. It's seeing the same pattern as well. But remember, the world does not revolve around California and the West Coast. This is a global phenomenon, and the closer you get to where this actually makes a connection in the Pacific, you see a very strong signal that'll be wetter than average, just above that dry. So Brazil's looking at drought conditions. Africa, Central Africa, is looking at flooding. Australia is looking at drought and maybe a major bushfire season. So we've got a lot adding up in that direction. The whole world is paying attention. We just got some news this morning that the drought monitor in our local area is now down to 6% for any low-level drought. It's been making great improvement. And remember, folks, that's the snowbank off 80 in Kingvale. So we still have lots of water coming into the system. With that said, the forecast going forward is going to be cool to mild today, a little bit of a delta breeze effect, so it will cool down overnight. And that's all we really have today. It's just really a nice day. But we're starting to see signs that something else is happening. In the Central Valley, down in the southern end of the San Joaquin Valley, a heat advisory, hot days and warm nights. Same with north of our area. And the reason why we're not included with that is because at least when it gets hot in the afternoon, like I just showed you with the wind, we're close enough to the ocean that we get onshore wind, which helps to cool us down overnight. So yes, it will be hot. About 10 degrees hotter today compared to tomorrow, near 90. Near record heat and mid to upper 90s. We got to pay attention on Saturday, especially with everything going on Little League and otherwise. Mother's Day is on Sunday, still very warm, but at least the nights and the early mornings will be fine. Next week, solid 90s pretty much the whole week.